Hello, dear ones. It's nice to be here. So let's all start by taking a deep breath and bringing your attention into your heart. And just imagine from that space, allowing a grounding cord to come up from the center of the earth, the crystalline grounding cord, going up into your heart, all the way up through your body into your heart, and swirling around and collecting all kinds of stuff in your heart, and then going all the way up into the sun. And I'd like you to imagine that as it's going through each of the chakras, it's going up, it's swirling through the first chakra, and then swirling up to the second, and then the third, and then the fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and seventh, and collecting all of the stuff that's there. You know, usually a grounding cord will suck some of the stuff up, but when you use that little swirl, it allows things that are sort of stuck on the walls. It's like the difference between rinsing a plate and taking your sponge and squishing and running your hand circularly around and cleaning the plate. So the rinsing gets a lot of stuff, but the swirling with the hands gets a lot more, the sponge. And that's what we're doing in this case. And so you might imagine that there's 7 little loops going up your body as we do this. So what are we going to talk about today? And one of the things that I like to do is we are past the equinox. We're moving into winter. And one of the things that's really nice about letting go of the summer is thinking about letting go. Because, you know, this is when we move into, the sun's moving down, it's getting shorter and shorter, and people are getting more and more miserable because the daylight is so short. But what's also true is this is an opportunity when you're feeling in the summer that you're expansive and everything's wonderful, and then comes fall, everything's contracting. And what I'm thinking here is that when you're contracting, you're also bringing your energy closer to your body. So that means that all the energy that was out there is being left out there or being pulled in, and maybe there's stuff in there. So let's take a few moments to take a golden comb and comb out your aura as far out as it is, and preferably make it about 2 feet in around you, and then you can comb it better. And what I'd like to do today, dear ones, is I would like to work on packing away. You know, the summer, you pack away all the summer clothes and get into winter. Now, some of you are still probably in summer because, you know, October, even though it's October, isn't necessarily cold enough. But in other places, it certainly is. But in this case, what I'm talking about packing away is not all the shorts and the t-shirts and the tank tops and the sandals and all the fun stuff and all the summer games and all the summer sport equipment. But in this case, packing, really putting away, letting go of a lot of the stuff that's inside of you that no longer serves you. It's like, you know, putting all your sweaters in a box and saying, I'm pushing them away, I don't need them anymore. But then, of course, you assume in the spring you're going to have to get them out. But in this case, we're going to actually pack them away and then see about getting rid of them. So what I mean about that, dear ones, is we're going to go through a little inventory of your system, a little inventory. And you can even imagine that in front of you we have a big packing crate, or, you know, trunk. Something that you can open up and put things in. So just imagine whatever size trunk you have, or you can imagine a packing crate, it doesn't matter. And this time, as we're running the white Christed light, and I'd like you to start doing that, So put out your hands and let's run the white Christed light. And this is really important because in this case, we're going to be putting in the request, requirement, desire that everything that you no longer need to carry around is going into this trunk or into this packing crate. And so that's really important. It's not that you have to throw everything in there, but what no longer serves you. And we're going to start at the top of your head. And the reason we're starting there rather than at the bottom, where there's a ton of stuff, is that very often people forget how much they carry around other people's beliefs and desires and wisdom. So maybe that would be a nice thing to imagine, throwing all these people's desires, all these other people's wisdom, all these other people's beliefs, not yours. You might have taken them on, and if you have, it's okay, but you need to own yours and not theirs. And so just imagine throwing into the box their stuff that's influencing you. Anyone, now this is religion, this is gurus, this is, belief systems, this is Jesus, this is Mother Mary, this is all of those beliefs that you might have taken on because they were given to you or you like them. And by the way, if there are things that you have taken on that you like, if you throw it in there and you say, no, I don't want to, I'll take that back, that's okay. You can do that too. You're allowed to take things out of your crate. And the same thing, clean a lot of that out and then move down to the sixth chakra in the center of your head. And you notice I'm doing this spinning motion with Arian's hand, and that's that looping that is being done with the grounding cord. So it's collecting a lot of that stuff. That's what we're collecting right now to be thrown away. And this is a lot of the stuff that, these are also beliefs, but these are different beliefs. These aren't beliefs in the seventh chakra. These are how you see things in the world, how you face things, how you deal with people, how you deal with ideas. And a lot of these, again, you see not necessarily clearly. And this gives you an opportunity to look at all those beliefs you hold, all of these rigidities you keep in your mind, and gives you an opportunity to throw some of those out. And with this one, I'm going to be honest with you, dear ones, I don't think you should bring them back. If you wish to think, well, I like that old belief. See how it's like, what it's like. See how you can live with it without being in your energy field for a day, 2 days, and all of a sudden you'll discover you don't need it at all. So just imagine you're opened a closet here, and the closet is full of all of these boxes, and every one of those boxes is a belief, an idea, a prejudice, a rigidity. Throw them all out. You want them out of your system. And, just running the white Christed light through here is just putting everything into present time, and you can just let it all go. It's really nice to let go of old things. Now, at this point, you might notice that your crate or your trunk is getting a little full. If it is, pack them up and send them into the sun, and we'll bring some more out. We have infinite trunks, infinite packing crates. And if they aren't, that's okay too. You can just keep them. And now we go down to the throat. Of course, this is, your communications. And very often we find that in communication, we're spouting things that we may or may not believe, but that other people have told us, or we say things that we're heard about, or things come out of our mouths. Let's just throw everything out of our mouths, out of our fifth chakra. Let's just dump all that stuff, all the emotion, all the sadness, all the anger or the wildness, just out. And it's interesting too, because communication is so very important, and very often there's boulders in the way of good communication. And just imagine that any of your boulders or any of your pebbles or any of your rocks or brick walls, this is where the communication gets stopped. So let's throw all of those into the box, into the crate, into the trunk. Okay, dear ones. And now we're going to move down to your heart. And of course, there's a lot of stuff that people hold in their hearts. A lot of sadness, a lot of anger. We're going to see anger a lot in the third chakra. But in your heart, there's a lot of stuff. And it's time, people who don't deserve your love and you keep begging them to love you. People who hurt you. People that you hurt. People that, your child doesn't ever get the love she needs from. There's a lot of folks that hang out in your heart. And the only people that should be in your heart are you, your higher self, your inner child, and all the little parts of you that exist. And if anyone else is in there, they're messing around with you. So it's really okay to invite all of those people, all of the feelings of sadness or misery or not worthiness or unhappiness or I'm just not okay. All those feelings, they come from in here. And your child, your inner child, needs to have a lot of love. And it's hard for her or him to have a lot of love or to feel it if all these people are in her heart or his heart or their heart, struggling to, pushing in and around. So what you really need, and this can be very scary for a lot of you, is to clean everybody out of your heart except you. And that doesn't mean you cut off all the people who you love and who love you. Not at all, dear ones. It simply means that if they're loving you, they should be loving you from their center, and you should be loving them back from your center. But if they're in your center, why are they in your center and not in theirs? So just imagine pushing this way, pushing this way, pushing this way, and pushing around. Just pushing everybody out of your space and collecting anyone that doesn't belong there, sending them home, and whatever's left goes into the trunk or into the box. It's really simple, and it may not be very easy though, because a lot of people who like to control or manipulate or play games with love, they like to come in and mess around with you. Or maybe you're the one who's messing around with other people. And the way that has to stop is to be pulling yourself separate from them so that you can feel your child, you can feel your inner self, you can feel your higher self. And more importantly, dear ones, so that you can feel the source. You can feel whether it's God, Mother Mary, Cosmic Mother, Jesus, God, universe. All of those are terms for enormous, expansive love. But you cannot feel that if everyone else is in your heart. So by moving them all out, you allow yourself to have that space so you can get that enormous sense of love. In fact, you might even imagine right now as we're stopped here, we're sitting here. So we've cleared 4 of the chakras. And so just invite now that cosmic mother, the cosmic father. Lazara says God, Goddess, all there is. Other people call it different things, universe, source. Just feel that love, that cosmic love coming down through the top of your head and going into your heart and filling you up and reminding you that for the first time, maybe forever, but at least for a while, this is a safe, clear space for you, and that all of this other dross, all of this other energy can go into your trunk, into your carton, or go back to the people it belongs to. And your child, your inner child, can feel love for the first time, perhaps, that is different, that is really focused on them. Notice how that feels. This is a very powerful moment for your heart, for your child, for your being. Wow, this is me. This is touching me. Yes. And so now we're going to leave your inner child there, really basking in this cosmic love, and go down to the third chakra. This is, of course, the solar plexus, and there's a lot of junk in there. This is where people have tried to control you and pushed in, or you've had to fight them off, and there's a lot of anger. And this is, you know, I can think of these as like, I say boulders, but they're more like rocks that you've been trying to throw at people, whether either to control them or keep them away from you. So why don't you just shove all your rocks out? Throw those into the carton or into the trunk, and notice if it's getting full. If they're getting full, send them off and get more. But if they aren't, just keep using this one. And really get a sense of letting go all of these brickbats, the things that have been thrown at you or the things that you've been throwing, cleaning them out of your third chakra so you don't have to feel like you're like this all the time, or fighting, or feeling like you've been knocked over. Because very often, you know, your third chakra is doing its very best to keep you solidified, solidly on the ground, so that you can deal with the world. And if you keep getting buffeted this way and that way, that you need to go, whoa, you know, I need to, you know, people are attacking you, or you're trying to attack others, or you're trying to get some clarity here. That's what your poor third chakra is doing. It's trying to keep you alive and functional. So just let all the rocks go out. Next time, maybe you can throw snowballs. There, you know, that won't hurt people, but they will wake them up and say, hey, don't mess with me. Whew. And now let's go down to your second chakra. And of course, this is sex and emotion and all of the things involved with that. It's about 3 inches above your pubic bone. And, you know, one of the things that I find in here, you know, I talk about snowballs. Well, down here, there's a lot of pillows. And down here, there's a lot of warping. Because a lot of sexuality and a lot of emotions have been warped, have been twisted by people, by the people around you, by your belief systems, by, you know, this is, you know, religious people saying this is bad and this is good, and, you know, all of those things. And if you could imagine, if you're sitting in this room inside of you, and you could see the window, as the curtains around the windows, and they're all knotted and twisted. And I'm using that as a metaphor, but there's a lot of twisting, a lot of warping. And so if you can just imagine pulling down all of those curtains and all of these pillows, which are just there to inundate you and shut you down, throw all of them into this carton or into this trunk. This is really important. Cleaning them out. You know, you can have whatever beliefs you wish to have about sexuality, about your emotions, but let them be yours and not someone else's. You know, this is we should say it's a spring cleaning, but this is a fall cleaning. This is because as you go into winter, you need to be bundling yourself up with your own energy, with your own sense of being, and so that you can enjoy that. And so really letting all of this stuff, clean it out, filling that trunk and, you know, sending it off and getting another one. Because I'll tell you, a lot of those pillows and a lot of those twisted, warped curtains, which were all over the place, those can all be stuffed in here and sent away into the sun to be recycled. As simple as that. Whew. Gone. And you can then imagine things differently. And then we go down to the first chakra, which is really, you know, it was interesting because I'm sitting here talking about how you know, your third chakra is where you need the strength to stand up. And you'd think it'd be your root chakra because that's the one that grounds into the earth. But in the root chakra has so much going on with it. Money, home, health, security, you know, all of these things, job, you know, where it's overloaded with worries, it's overloaded with needs, it's overloaded with exhaustion. So it's nice when other parts of your body take over. So let's just imagine anything, all the stuff. You can imagine being in a kitchen and on all the food and all the garbage and all the, you know, everything you need to eat, everything you have to eat. You know, do you have enough money to last you for the end of the month? On and on. So just allow all of those worries. Worries are what often consume the first chakra. Worries about health, worries about job, worries about money, worries about home, worries about family, all of these things. And you can imagine them like, I see butterflies, but it's more like, they're more like gnats, not butterflies, but gnats. Butterflies are pretty. Gnats are pesky, they're obnoxious. And imagine them zooming around in the whole chakra. And what you need right here is you need to pick up, imagine that there is a little vacuum cleaner and it's, or one of those, actually even better than the vacuum cleaner, is one of those leaf blowers. Imagine pushing that leaf blower right into the chakra and blowing those stupid gnats right out of your being and into the trunk and shutting the trunk. Or imagining there's fly paper in there and they all get stuck on the fly paper. It's amazing how many gnats there are floating around, filling up your chakra, filling up your consciousness. And because they buzz, you know, like flies, and drives you nuts when you, flies are very good at driving people nuts. Well, then gnats are the same way. They make noise, they bother you, they come right into your face, they disrupt your consciousness, they make things difficult. And leaf blow them all into the trunk where they're caught by the fly paper and they can't get out. And now shut the trunk or the crate, close it up, send it off into the sun to be recycled. Whether it was the 1st or the 5th or the 10th, it doesn't matter. You got them out of your space. And it's really amazing when you get those gnats out of your lowest chakra, your root chakra. It affects everything. And so now I'd like you to send that cosmic energy that's been sitting in your heart, now move it all the way down through the lower 3 chakras, and then down into the earth, through the crystalline grounding cord, all the way down to the center of the earth, and feel it filling up the crystalline grounding cord. Feel it filling up all of you, all the way up to the sun. So you are vibrating with this really wonderful cosmic energy. This is who you belong to be. This is your birthright. This is your cosmic right. This is what you have come here to feel and to be. And when you do something like this, you can take it on and you can be this greater than you have been, this more expansive than you have been. So now, having done all that, just imagine, this white Christed light running through you once again, cleaning out any little gnats that's got stuck, sending them off. Cleaning out the pillows, cleaning out any rocks or pebbles. Everything being ready for you to take your next step. Okay, dear ones, that's it for today. Thank you for letting me be here, and we will talk again. Bye.